Hello again, it's Fred here, talking to you from speech class as always. Today we're going to be discussing how to organize one's life. Now, I feel this subject is a great one because most of us have areas in where we can work on in this. Mine, for example, at the moment is a chaotic mess because with each new thing I added to my life, such as school, moving to a new town, the volunteering I do, I really didn't clear up some of the old stuff I had set everything on top of what I had already been doing. So this being said, the first thing anyone should do is to organize their life is make a list of priorities. When I say priorities, I mean priorities in your life at that time. That doesn't mean like priorities meaning, oh, I need to go out and party with my friends and stuff like that, although that can be important too. I mean, looking at life and figuring out where you're going, what are you doing, what's most important to keep your life the way you want it or the direction you're going with it. When I looked at my life, I looked at things like work, school, and family. There are other things that fall into these categories which I've listed, such as my volunteer work. It falls in between both work and school because the work I do is related to my schooling that I'm attending now. So it will also be beneficial to my future career that I'm planning on taking. There are things that may not fit within those priorities that we don't need to omit. One of them is leisure time. Okay, now I won't tell you that leisure time isn't important because it is. But we do need to prioritize how much leisure time we take and when we're going to take it. Meaning, if we're studying for a test, we don't decide to put this test down and go, okay, well, I'm going to go play video games for 3 hours because we're getting off task. So yeah, leisure time is very important, and it definitely helps in our personal health. So we do need to take that into consideration. Another huge factor that can help us organize our lives is obtaining a daily planner. When we obtain a daily planner, we jot things in. The more ritualistic we become, the better. So many times do we attempt to do things by memory. I have a big problem with this. I'll be like, oh yeah, this, that. But when we have something to refresh our memory, like just looking at that daily planner in the morning, say, oh yeah, I got this to do, this to do, this to do. What we end up doing is we end up remembering, so we're not forgetting stuff or ending up late, like our homework, stuff that are important at our jobs, our appointments. Those are very important things, and when we're not on track with those, we can end up having assignments late. We can end up being late or missing altogether appointments. With my job, I have multitude of things I have to do, like going from job A to job B, and sometimes it's easy to forget those little things. If we have a daily planner, this helps organize this aspect of our life. Another thing I was looking at was reading a article by Sarah Stebbins from in the Washington Times. I realized that walking away from bargains may not be a bad thing. Now, often with me, I looked at this as important because I pick up bargains all the time. I'm a single father. I have 6 kids at home, so when I see a deal, I pick it up. This includes clothing, food, whatever. I tend to buy a lot of clothes, out of season clothes, clothes that are too big for my kids now, and all the reason why I buy this is because they're at such a good deal. The problem with this is that when you tend to keep buying these bulk items, these sale items, your house can become disarray. I mean, there could be piles of this, piles of that. piles of everything everywhere because you really don't have no place to put them. Now, when you do this and your house becomes a cluttered mess, in some senses your life becomes a cluttered mess. It is hard to focus on what you are doing in any task that you do when your house is a mess. There are a lot of us here also that like to multitask. Now, in today's day and age, we have really become great at multitasking. The problem is that it generally creates a bigger mess. I mean, we are not able to give one specific thing 100%. So with that being said, in order for us to better organize our life, we need to focus on one thing at a time. When we focus on one thing at a time, we are able to perform that task 10 times better. Now, I know this is going to be truly hard for a lot of us multitaskers. I'm one of them. But reality is that wouldn't you rather give 100% of yourself to something than 25%, 50%? So, when we look at this list, I know everybody's going to laugh and say, he jumps all over the place. There's no cohesive purpose, but there is. I mean, these are all different aspects in our life which we can organize a little bit that can help us better at a whole to create peace within our life, to create a happier self. Isn't that what you're looking for? I am.